Okay, welcome everybody. We have sophomore tailback Brandon Oliver with us today with Coach Quinn. One brief programming announcement. We just got word this morning that the game this weekend will be on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet 13 live at 12:30. And will also be carried by ESPN Game Plan and ESPN3. So 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. So with that, Coach, I'm going to get this going and take questions.
Okay. Thank you for being here. Looking back after Saturday night's game against UConn, playing against the defending Big East champs, analyzing the film, evaluating things, again, I really feel our kids played with a lot of effort. They were competing and straining to do their jobs really throughout the whole night, and it never ended. And I was very proud of that. You look at a lot of the statistics in that game, certainly there was measurable improvement with our football team. Unfortunately, certainly did not win the key stat, and that was putting more points on the board than they did. But defensively, I look back at, the way we challenged our defense after the Ball State game. They really stepped up. They came up big against UConn. When you think about it, to hold a team like UConn to 80 yards rushing, 1.9 yards a carry, just speaks volumes of the way those kids responded. And they do demonstrate that they care and they believe in what we're doing. Offensively, we knew coming into the UConn game that they were going to play a lot tighter, and their coverage was going to be a lot tighter. They were going to spin an extra hat down in the box to slow down our run game. And we knew this, and we said to our kids, hey, we needed to focus on making critical plays at critical times. And being able to get down the red zone, really it hurt us, missing the field goal. And then, we did kick a field goal. But then in that second half, and I really look at, somebody asked me, hey, what did you say to the team at halftime? We knew that they scored right before half, and that's a big momentum swing in the game. But the way our kids went into the locker room, the way I felt they handled both sides of the ball, very businesslike, very positive. Our offense came in there, hey, defense, listen, you're out first in the second half. You guys stop them, you get us the ball, and we'll march that ball right down and score. And we were down there on the 5-yard line. Now, looking at it, was a pass interference, and the penalty was a penalty. And I'm still not real happy about that situation, because that certainly, took some time to, kind of overcome that. But we need to respond in those situations. We're going to continue training our team the right way. We're going to prepare them each and every day what to expect, and they're going to continue trusting in their performance. And I'm excited about our opportunities of going down to an SEC school and a great team like Tennessee and playing in that kind of environment. I think it's going to be a tremendous opportunity for our kids. So with that, I'll open up for any questions.
How do you go about trying to prepare them for exactly what you said, the environment of the massiveness of the people, the place, and everything like that?
Well, we need the whole city of Buffalo to come out to practice each and every day, okay? There's going to be 105,000 people, so we need to duplicate that. So I'm encouraging everyone to come out to practice, okay, each and every day this week. But, we're going to pump in crowd noise. We're going to hear Rocky Top a lot of here. We're going to cover the stadium in orange and get our kids to understand how to be locked in. And I think these kids understand. This is a group of young men, and Bo sitting next to my left, has that ability to lock his mind in and train himself to be able to play this great game without the interference or, the distractions that go on. And we need to be able to do that this week, and we're going to try to, set that up as much as possible.
Is that as big a factor for your team as the opponent is as big a factor here too? Is the atmosphere and dealing with all that and the guys lined up across from you?
It's interesting because when I think about, our football team and making sure that they understand, we're going to discuss, how you go into the moment. We talk about being in that moment where all things around you, the surrounding things that don't pertain to the way you play and prepare mentally, physically, and emotionally, that's got to be blocked out. And, there's techniques and tactics that we have in our system of offense and defense to be able to handle that situation. But, I look at them structurally, offensively, defensively, special teams. They're a solid, well-coached football team. Coach Dooley is a tremendous football coach. They have very talented players, but so do we, and we're going to get them ready to do that.
Oh, you feed
For a crowd like that, even if you got 100,000 cheering for the other team.
Yeah, definitely. It's all in preparation, as Coach said, as what we do in practice with the crowd noise and everything, and just staying locked in. You know, if you got the mentality to not let nothing distract you, then you'll be good.
Jeff, if your slot receivers maybe haven't been utilized as much as might have been expected, is that a product of them not being open? Is that a product of play calls? Is that a product of Chaz not playing in them? How does that?
Well, you look at last week, Bob, and this was a very tight coverage, unit, and they do take away. Terrell's a very good football player, and people are conscientious of that. Coordinators are. This was a game where the outside receivers, the Nuts and the Rivers, were going to have more opportunities because that's where the ball should go in those critical and tight coverage situations. But, again, you may have a call on. It's not a perfect world because sometimes you have a call on, we're looking for Terrell, and, maybe the protection just doesn't hold up as much. Or, maybe they disguise it and they come down on him, whatever it may be. And I keep telling our kids, listen, the opportunities are going to come your way. Don't change your preparation. Don't change in your energy and enthusiasm for every single call. I feel strongly that all the things that we do in our offensive system are solid calls based upon what teams are going to give us. We spent till 11, 12 o'clock at night looking at those things. So, I think Terrell's opportunities are going to come. So will Eddie. So will Devin Hughes's, those inside guys, our tight ends. This particular weekend, it was a big week for Alex and Marcus. And that's what you love about a guy like Nuts. Nuts makes the plays that he's supposed to make, and he makes the plays he shouldn't. I mean, that was a huge play that he went downfield, and I think that's just an opportunity that, he thrives on and will continue to build upon. But every guy's important, and every guy's involved in the game plan.
Can you update us a little bit on the secondary? Striggles went down Saturday. Coach Jones got a replacement already in hand? Are they still deciding as the week goes along? Can you give us an update?
Well, I think, even I said to the team about yesterday, with Dwelly being out, it's an unfortunate injury. And, it was an aggressive play in the game. He had a guy locked up and, he went to disengage and his leg got caught. And, but the thing was, it's not so much the defensive back area as much as it's a special teams play. This young man has done a tremendous job for us in special teams, so we need to replace him in special teams. And we've gone to a couple guys and said, hey, now's your chance to step up, and that's why we have that motto, next bull in. Corner-wise, I think we're going to be all right. There's going to be Nija and Courtney Lester, and then you have Joe Petit and Carlos Lamons. But in special teams, Dwelly's done a great job. Now some of these other guys are going to have to really step up to help fill that role that he's been able to be so productive in.
Steven, completely all right after the game?
Steven Means? Sure. Yeah, I think he just got dinged up. We fully expect everybody, and we've been very, very lucky, in terms of not losing many guys so far at this point in the month of August and September. We're down to 2 months, when you really think about it. You're down in October, November, and we have to win this month, period.
Jeff, any past experience maybe at Central where you went to a place to play like this that you kind of look back on and trying to get your team ready for this atmosphere?
Well, we played at Michigan, when we were at Central Michigan, 105,000 seat stadium, so on and so forth. Last year, you go down to you play Baylor, and it's maybe they don't have as many people in there, but it was loud. And certainly we feel strongly this program has played against Auburn, and we played against Penn State. We're going to go down to Georgia next year, so you don't do it each and every week. In our league, because we just don't, have that same number of crowd members. But at the same time, our kids need to be locked into what, as I said, every little thing that we're asking them to do. And if you let your mind drift, you're right, it'll be a distraction, and it'll, you'll break your concentration. And I'm not going to allow that to happen. From that standpoint, we're going to continue working on it every day this week.
Is there a danger of them trying to overplay because they're so fired up to be in a huge environment and the opportunity to obviously make a statement for the team? Is there a chance that maybe the guys get a little, as opposed to overwhelmed, a little more antsy to make something happen.
Well, I think as we look at more and more film, I think our kids will realize that, you know, the things that they do offensively, they have a very good quarterback. Bray's a tremendous guy. You know, he manages the offense. You know, if you watch their structure of plays that they run offensively, they're huddle, pro style, 2 back, 1 back, you know, zone, lead plays, power. You know, they got a big group of offensive linemen, you know, that really get after it. I think as soon as you start watching more film throughout the week, you're going to become more comfortable with the system of offense and defense. There are 4-3, so on and so forth, that, you know, they're going to feel more comfortable and they're going to be locked in and be businesslike. We're not going to change our routine. You know, it's important that our kids understand every single guy has got to pull their weight. 66 guys go on this trip, and we're going to continue supporting one another so we don't have those moments, like you're saying, being too high. We just want high energy. I want an enthusiastic football team. I don't want an emotional team. I want one that plays with full energy every single snap.
They've been more pass-oriented, excuse me, this year, maybe not by choice. I mean, they haven't been able to run the ball pretty well. I mean, very well. If in their pass attack, do you need to get more pressure? Do you need more out of like a guy like Steve Weeds in terms of getting pressure on the quarterback?
Absolutely. You know, there's moments that, you know, you feel like you got to take advantage of those key moments. You know, like you said, you know, getting those one-on-one matchups. You know, when you get an offensive tackle with Steven, you know, Steven, you got to beat him. You know, and that's really critical that we continue. And then we got to help, you know, the structure too. You know, they're pretty good one-on-one matchup guys. You know, I'm sure they feel comfortable with, you know, their guys against our guys individually. We gotta win those one-on-one contests each and every play, and we have to do it also structurally by putting some pressure on them and not giving these receivers clean releases off the ball and, you know, giving them open space to run routes against. So, you know, we're going to have to do a great job of putting pressure on him. But he gets the ball out of his hands quickly. He's 6'6", and he sees over things, and he's got some guys that can run some, you know, routes at the top end in a quick matter of seconds. So we're going to have to do a great job of kind of mixing it up and continue trying to keep them off guard.
Has Means been playing hurt? Is that the reason why he's not making as many plays?
No, I don't. You know, not necessarily. You know, I mean, Steven's a solid player. We ask him to understand his role and responsibility, and he does that. I mean, this is a 3-4 defense. You have 3 defensive linemen, and your responsibility is to be 2 gap. You know, we want you to occupy your gap. We want you to knock back the offensive line and keep people off of the linebackers to give those other guys. So it's a role and a responsibility that, you know, he understands and he takes a great deal of pride in. But he's a great player, and we're going to continue watching him. His moment's going to happen, you know, and he's made those moments. You know, last week there was a key play. Same thing with last Saturday night. There was key plays that he's making that, you know, you may not see a sack, but he sets up a big sack for Gordon because they're being more conscientious, Steven, giving Gordon the one-on-one, and Gordon does a great job for us. So it all fits hand in hand with the team concept.
Hey, Brandon, you grew up in Florida. You obviously know what the SEC is all about and the level of play there. Is there part of you that is looking forward to sort of seeing how you rank up against what some people think is the top of your sport?
Nah, not really. I mean, I go into the game giving everybody the same respect, so it ain't really much of a big deal who we playing. The only thing that's gonna be a difference is the fans, 100,000 in the stadium. But you know, I'm gonna have eight family members there, so hopefully that'll help me. But nah, not really. I just go in the game preparing every team the same way. You know, I don't look past no team. I don't put no team on no pedestal. You know, so I feel it's gonna be a great challenge. Yeah.
What has allowed you to elevate your game this season?
Working with Coach Simon and with Coach Zach in the weight room, definitely. When Coach Simon got here and Coach Zach told me he coached LaDainian Tomlinson, they gave me a lot of motivation and encouragement just to know, like, I got a coach who has coached the Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer at that. So that really helped me mentally. But physically, just working hard with Coach Zach, my 30-pound vest again, and going to the hills.
Still wearing that vest?
Yeah, I wear it every Monday.
Tight end is, they got a pretty good tight end in Tennessee. Does Jalil's work, the fact that he's been in the slot a little bit, help him in that matchup?
I think Jalil, his size, his physicality, how well he's been able to develop, his abilities, both mentally and physically, understanding more about the system of system of defense and his understanding of where he fits within the grand scheme of the defense. I like that matchup. I think it's a tremendous opportunity for that young man, Jalil Verser, to play against a quality player as they're going to present at that position. So that's what he's designed to do, and that's what I'm excited to watch and see and how this game unfolds, because that's going to be a key matchup for us.
Coach, Brandon obviously has got, the majority of the carries so far this year. Are you looking at the running game maybe to spread it out a little bit more in order to keep him fresh? And second of all, give defenses looks at other backs besides just him.
Well, he's earned the opportunity to be that guy. When you go into a game like Pitt and Brandon Oliver here runs 93 plays, has a tremendous game with his effort of carrying the ball, but also in his blocking. Other than the holding call. Okay, we won't bring that one up. But this is a young man who's just, he's been built, he's been training, so on and so forth, and we're going to continue asking him to be one of those great leaders in our offense. What we need to do is make sure that the offensive line understands their role and responsibility of getting him to that second level beyond the defensive line. If you watch the game Saturday, where we struggled at times in our run game, where it slowed down a little bit, was the fact that we weren't able to get Brandon past that first level of defenders. Once we did, you watch him, he's running right through people. He knocked that safety over. A lot of people didn't realize. He got through there early on, and it was early in the game. That safety came up. And, these two guys, like two battering rams, hit, and our man here won that battle. And that's what we keep telling our offensive linemen. So he's capable of handling all those carries and all those reps. But we are very conscientious of having another guy ready and getting him ready at that same level. So if we do need to give Bo a spell, then those guys are ready. And that's going to come down to Anthony Taylor and Javon Gill.
Well, I guess Coach Dooley referred to Khalil as a train wreck in describing his play yesterday. You're close, with Khalil. This success he's had, do you even know it on a day-to-day basis? It doesn't change him at all, does it?
Nah, it don't surprise him at all. It don't change us. Actually, he don't really say much about it, but we trained together in the summer all the time. He wore the vest too, and we went to the hills together. And it don't surprise us at all. It don't surprise him. The success that he's having doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise the coaches, because this was what, he was born for this type of stuff. We always look forward to this, these type of challenges and everything. And we always talk to each other about, bigger teams, like how everybody always talking about the bigger teams and stuff, and the AP poll and all that type of stuff. And, we just feel like we could play with anybody.
What hill did you run? The stadium one?
Right there. The old football. Yeah, the old football field. Right there.
Jeff, what's your reaction when Coach Dooley says that Khalil's may be the best that he'll see all season long, and we know who's on their schedule? What do you think of when you hear an opposing coach say something like that about one of your players?
Well, I'm proud of Khalil. He's put himself in this position. And, he's been blessed with some God-given talent, and, he's utilizing it. And, any coach that sees him play on film, as I see him every day, it just says that his play on film shows up. And, and obviously that's a great compliment by Coach Dooley, because he sees a lot of great players out there in that league. So, we're very fortunate to have Khalil. We need Khalil's play to continue to get better, to continue being one of the most explosive players out there, to dominate as he has shown, and then just bring others along with him by, inspiring them with his play. And you can see it. It's a great example when you're watching him. And he just has a great, deep passion for this great game, as Bo does. And it's great to have two guys on each side of the ball that brings that mentality, because it's bringing others their level up also. And that's what we're looking for out of each kid.
I'm not trying to make it Khalil fest, but Gordon said after the game that he'll see him out of his peripheral vision. Sometimes when he's tracking down a guy, that Khalil comes flying by him.
He's faster than Gordon. That's why, it's like when I'm driving and you pass me with that Ferrari you drive, Nick. Exactly.
Hey, Brandon, how do you where does some of the moves that you make, some of the things that you do, where does it come from? I want to say maybe at Ball State there was a point when you were in the air and you sort of changed directions kind of while you were in the air to get around somebody. Do you even know you're doing some of that stuff when you're running?
Nah, I know when I was growing up, I always wanted to be like Barry Sanders. But to tell you the truth, I don't think you could predetermine what you do on the field. So I know Barry Sanders called it instincts, because I always used to look at his own films and everything. But I don't really know what I'm doing half of the time. It just happened.
So what do you think when you see it on film?
I said sometimes I don't even remember, because everybody be asking me like, you remember when you shook number 25? I said, nah. I just be running it sometimes, and some stuff just happen.
Jeff, you were asked, at postgame the other day about Chaz and your comfort level, and you kind of left it open-ended in terms of the quarterback situation. And that might have been some postgame frustration or whatever, or where do you stand?
Well, let me close that. He is our starting quarterback. He is the best quarterback, and he will continue to be our guy. I care deeply about Chaz, and and he's also, a guy that understands accountability at that position. And he knows the role and responsibility that he has, as I do as the head football coach. But I couldn't be more proud. He's made our team better. He raises everybody's level of preparation and performance, and he wants to make it right, and we talked to him, and I had a great conversation with him last night again, and again this morning. I mean, he's in here till 11, 12 at night. So, let me just close that out, because nobody is harder working, more determined, more passionate, who was a mature, responsible, respectful kid than Chaz Anderson. He is our quarterback, and he's the guy. And we're going to continue coaching him and developing him so he can be in those moments and make those plays. But he's got 10 other guys that got to do their part too.
Yeah. What was the problem on Saturday with him, with Chaz, in terms of his level of play, which wasn't up to the standard you would expect?
Well, like I said, they tightened down some coverage on us, okay, and we knew that. We needed to hit some. We had some key connected, key plays and key moments, critical moments in the game that we needed to capitalize on. And we just need to understand. Chaz has only been here for a few months. Now, he hasn't been here for 5 years. This is not a fifth-year senior in our program. He hasn't been working with the guys. That's not an excuse, and he's not making the excuse. That's why he works so hard after practice. That's why he spends so much time in film. And he's always looking for that, that one coaching point that really is going to lock him in to what he needs to do. But he's a great player, and his moment's coming. As I told him, I said it's going to happen. This past week, it just we weren't able to put enough points on the board. That's not his fault. Okay, we got to do a better job of coaching him. I do, Don, Alex, all of us, and we got to support him from that standpoint. So, he's the guy, and he's the guy that we're going to continue, seeing him through this. And what we got 8 games left. So I'm excited for this young man, and he's eager to get back into the position of helping us beat Tennessee. Thank you.